everyone, and welcome to About Town. I'm Susan Stevens.
And I'm Kathy Whiteman. Susan and I are so excited to introduce the new look and newish name of About Town in celebration of ICTN's 40th anniversary.
We've got the same great content with a 21st century look and feel, and an updated movie segment called Feature Flicks.
On today's show, Kyle Taylor and Terry Oliver join us with details on Irving Care's new event. Hector Guzman brings us a preview of the Irving Symphony Orchestra's 2021-22 season, and Amanda Brummett has news on a very exciting women's health panel.
As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, interesting people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show.
You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. We would love to hear from you. SWE Fury is in-your-face Texas-style wrestling, and though it's usually for the adults, they also provide a kids' camp for the little ones looking to experience a day like the pros. Susan Stevens attended the camp recently held at the Irving Convention Center. Here's a look.
The Irving Convention Center hosts a special SWE Fury event. While the adults are slamming bodies in here, on the other side of the wall, kids are gaining a once-in-a-lifetime pro wrestling experience at the SWE Fury Kids Camp.
So they get fired up. They make posters. They learn about all the wrestlers in the federation, which I love, because unlike some federations where they already bring in names, we have the platform with this kids camp to start building our own wrestlers, and we're really looking forward to doing that.
Eventually what I do is I want to take this kids camp and go into a pro wrestling school from a younger age up to about 16. And then, from 16 to 18, we want to try to grow organically to get them ready to be professional wrestlers.
Meet Red Fury.
I'm going to beat her into next week.
Lacey.
You're going to go good night.
And JC
Jackson. I'm fearless and I can take down anyone. And Charlie Haas, you're next.
Bring it, baby, bring it. You got to know, if you have more knowledge than me, then you're going to probably beat me.
These are just 3 of the SWE Fury campers who are fans of the show.
I watch it a lot. I've watched a bunch of wrestling stuff. SWE Fury's one, WWE. But yeah, I just grew up watching it and I like it.
All these campers are participating in a day of pro wrestling activities.
They're getting their face painted, they're taking promo pictures, they're learning if they want to be a good guy or a bad guy. They're going to learn the basics of professional wrestling and about body language and facials.
A wrestler that instills fear with his facial expressions is the Boogeyman, who enters the camp with real-life worms in his mouth.
I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you.
He chases the children and asks the question,
Are you a good team or bad team?
Lacey Von Erich is the president and owner of SWE Fury, which is a Texas-based pro wrestling television show. She comes from a long line of pro wrestlers, some of whom tragically passed away. She explains her background and family legacy.
So Granddad started WCCW, and he then had a bunch of sons. And 5 of those sons became pro wrestlers. One of them was my dad, Kerry Von Erich, who was the Texas Tornado. One by one, they all started passing away. My dad was the last one that passed. There's a lot going on with those days of wrestling. A lot of deaths. It's still going on. And so I definitely want to change things. This is absolutely a family-friendly, even though it's very Texas in-your-face kind of wrestling. It's very much like the Sportatorium, what my dad did and everything. But I really want to take care of them. And this is actually my first show that I own. So I'm really excited about it.
Which is why the kids camp means so much to its organizers.
They get to know the wrestlers, they have so much fun, and we create this memory that they can't forget. You going backstage and you coming out and you getting in that ring and with all the lights and all the cameras, how are we going to forget that?
I look back when I was their age, I didn't have access to a ring, and we didn't have access to these type of promotions. For me to teach them, because I had a lot of great teachers. Now what I can do is take what I learned from the greats, the pioneers, and pass it down to the kids.
And every kid finds their own value in the camp.
It's really fun and entertaining. There's a lot of activities and you get to meet cool wrestlers. Because I get to meet my favorite wrestler.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Lacey.
The SWE Fury Kids Camp makes fantasy become a reality, while also honoring Lacey's late father.
That always chokes me up. Almost every show I come out and the kids are going crazy. The kids are in the ring because he was all about kids. And I always say my dad is here. Like, my dad would be so proud.
SWE Fury encourages every kid interested in pro wrestling to sign up for their next event. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
For more information on how your child can register for SWE Fury Kids Camp, visit SWEFury.com.
Author Julie Murphy has another hit to add to her growing list of best-selling books, If the Shoe Fits. We caught up with Julie at the South Irving Library to learn more.
I love a good princess.
Julie Murphy is a New York Times best-selling author. She's written multiple young adult novels, including the critically acclaimed book, Dumpling, which many know of from the popular Netflix movie. Julie made a special visit to the South Irving Library to promote her newest book.
Yeah, If the Shoe Fits is my first adult book. It's part of a new line from Disney Books, and it follows a Cinderella sort of story, the sort of trope of Cinderella. It's a retelling, and in our version of Cinderella, Cinderella is now named Cindy. She's a young 20-something, recently graduated fashion school student. She's a young plus-size woman, and she has found herself as a contestant on a reality television dating show.
We're going to be hosting a night of conversation and questions with the audience, and in conversation with Mandy Aguilar, who will be our moderator. And after the discussion, there will be a book signing and books available for purchase.
If the Shoe Fits is part of Disney's Meant to Be series, where they plan to show classic Disney princesses in a new, modern light as part of their commitment to diversity and telling original tales.
It's really a vision that they had, and they started looking to authors who they felt like could bring this to life for them. So I was really lucky to be the first to kick off the series and to also get my first pick at a princess. Every guy I write always has a little bit of Channing Tatum. And of course, you know, my love, my favorite, my Ian. There's always a little bit of Ian in every of my love interests. Okay, stop. It's mushy, it doesn't feel good, stop.
Though she's excited to write her own version of this story, Julie does enjoy a few other Cinderella adaptations.
Of course, I love Ever After with Drew Barrymore. I love Brandy's version of Cinderella, and I'm a huge Hilary Duff fan, Lizzie McGuire fan, so I think those would be my top three.
Julie takes pride in the fact that her Cinderella will give representation to full-figured women.
I mean, growing up, I think that everyone remembers their first interaction with a Disney princess, and while Cinderella is not the first Disney princess, she's my first Disney princess, and I could never fully buy into the fact that that could someday be me, because I was a chubby kid who turned into a chubby teenager who then turned into a chubby adult, and it just never felt real or authentic to me because I couldn't see myself in it. And there's, you know, it might be kind of trite now, but there's the old adage that if you can't see it, you can't be it.
But in Julie's books, all her characters can be it, giving inspiration to her readers.
My books are so grounded in body positivity, so I think the most meaningful thing is when I find out or learn from someone that, you know, my books really changed the way that they look at themselves and look at their bodies.
The South Irving Library is happy to host this event that brings the community together and further spreads the message of body positivity. For About Town, this is Susan Stevens. Follow Julie on Instagram at @I'mJulie. If the Shoe Fits is available now at all book retailers.
Irving Cares has another great event just in time for Halloween.
It's called the Bingo Bash Monster Mash, and Kyle Taylor and Terry Oliver are here with the details. Welcome.
It is great to see you guys.
Thanks for having us again.
See ya.
Terry, you're in a seat that I never thought I'd see you in, because this is not something that you love, but you love the organization, so you do what's necessary, right?
I do.
So, Bingo Bash Monster Mash sounds really descriptive. What's the name mean? Where'd the idea come from?
Well, actually, the idea came from Joy Goodrum, one of our board members, and we were just trying to think of something fun to do, and what goes better with bingo than a monster mash, so it was good.
Bingo Bash Monster Mash. I am so ready for this.
Yeah, can you tell us what all is planned for the night?
Well, so we're going to do what's called Singo Bingo. There's a lady by the name of Melody who does trivia and MC's game nights around town. And so we approached her, and what we're going to do is a music-themed bingo night. Instead of it being like B5, it'll be a song by ABBA. She will play the song, you'll hear the song. It's funny to watch people start singing the song, and then they'll daub their card. And as usually as the night goes on, it starts to become more like a karaoke bingo than regular bingo.
And so at that night, we'll do that. We'll play 4 or 5 games of bingo. We'll have a small silent auction raffle and prizes for those who win the bingo games. And again, it's just another way for us to get folks together, hoping meet some new friends for Irving Cares, and talk about what we do and how we impact the community.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun.
It does. It sounds like a great idea, and it sounds like you guys, as we were discussing a little bit before, have come up with some ways to make inroads with younger people who might not know about Irving Cares, but find out about it and really want to get involved. Terry, what are some of the other things you guys have done to kind of open up the audience a little bit?
Well, we had a flower arranging party where a local florist came in and taught us how to arrange flowers. We had bunco night at Big State. We've started a cigar club, so it's just engaging the community and let them know what we do.
That's great. Branding events make a difference.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and we've seen the impact. Terry and a few of the board members, Joy Goodrum and a few others, are really. It's not something we have done before at Irving Cares, but the ability to do this and actually see the fruits of the labor, because it's not easy, and it takes a lot of help from the community to do it. You know, we were really worried about where to do bunco, but David Cole at Big State and his staff provided that for us. Bingo, we're going to get a chance to do that at the Texacan. Mm-hmm. They're going to show off kind of their wedding chapel room and kind of let people a chance to see that. And so the community is really wanting to start to get out, so we're taking advantage and kind of leveraging some of that to get out and really talk about what Irving Cares does.
I think that's fabulous.
That is.
And folks, you get to wear Halloween costumes.
True.
I mean, you know, I love the look on your face right now, Kyle.
Yes. So you can get a table. You can sponsor a table and come in a costume. We will have awards for, best costume, best decorated table. So you can get a group of 4 together, come in and play bingo, Singo bingo, and wear your costumes, and just kind of a way to have some different kind of Halloween fun.
All right, I'm in, absolutely, folks.
Me too.
So this is going to be a wonderful evening. This will help one of Irving's most important philanthropic organizations, Irving Cares, and gee, you'll get to have fun. So it's the Bingo Bash Monster Mash on Thursday, October 28th from 5:30 to 9 p.m. at Texacan Court. Get your tickets at bidpal.net/ICBingo. Be there. This week, we introduced the new segment Feature Flicks with Susan's hot tips for movies to see or avoid and new celebrity interviews. What do you have for us this week, Susan?
Thanks, Kathy. This week's Feature Flicks are a couple of very different but entertaining movie recommendations. 20th Century Studios' Free Guy is one of the funniest films of the year, and now it's available to watch in the comfort of your own home on digital, Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K Ultra HD. Ryan Reynolds plays Guy, a bank teller who discovers he is actually a background player in an open-world video game and decides to become the hero of his own story. He's determined to save the world before it's destroyed by the man who created it. The film features a hilarious cast, including Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Taika Waititi, and Little Rel Howery. It's a surprisingly touching story about how the little things we do in life can have a meaningful impact on the world.
We can save our world, but we have to fight together. I don't even know what's happening right now, but I love it!
The digital, 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD has never before seen bonus material, including deleted and extended scenes, a blooper reel, and making of featurettes.
Is that a Glock in your pocket?
No.
What?
It's 2 Glocks.
Oh.
Free Guy is a hilarious action-packed comedy you won't want to miss.
Nope. I can't die. I'm never gonna die.
Next up is the highly anticipated James Bond film, No Time to Die, serving as Daniel Craig's swan song to the character. This is a bittersweet goodbye to one of the best Bonds. In No Time to Die, James has left active service, but is pulled back in when an old friend from the CIA turns up asking for help to take down a mysterious villain played by Academy Award winner Rami Malek, who's armed with dangerous new technology. The film is currently playing in theaters. You'll want to see this one on the big screen. Here's a preview.
James Bond, licensed to kill in love with Madeline Swan, I could be speaking to my own reflection. Only your skills die with your body. And life is all about leaving something behind. Isn't it?
Come on, Bond. Where the hell are you?
Okay.
If we don't do this, there will be nothing left to save.
I have to finish this. You ever flown like this?
No.
And finally, director Vladimir Johansson's debut feature, Lamb, tells a dark and twisted story of a childless couple who discover a mysterious newborn lamb on their farm in Iceland. This suddenly brings the family a happiness that's been missing before ultimately destroying them. It's a unique and disturbing film, but once you start, you can't stop watching. Lamb is currently playing in select theaters. I leave you with a preview.
Hún ekki búin að okkur nú. Hvað þetta? Hamingjan.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. Further! God only knows what I'd be without you.
Þetta ekki babb. Þetta dýr.
Thanks, Susan. Free Guy is available on 4K Blu-ray and DVD on October 12th. And No Time to Die is currently playing at AMC Irving Mall. For more of Susan's reviews and celebrity interviews, you can check her out online at thischicksflix.com. The Irving Symphony Orchestra has been making beautiful music since the early 1960s.
It's a tradition that continues in the 21st century, and Maestro Hector Guzman is here with the details on the 59th season. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always great to have you, Hector, and I am so excited, the geek in me arrives, to hear about this concert that you're kicking off the 59th season with. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, yes, our season of hope starts with Star Wars Through the Years.
I'm in.
The Star Wars saga. And so what we're going to do is feature the best known music of pretty much most of the movies from Star Wars. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, The Phantom Menace, even including the very latest series, The Mandalorian. So it's going to be perfect for the whole family.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. I love The Mandalorian, but there's so many great music from each film. Which one do you enjoy performing the most?
Well, the music of John Williams is always very challenging. It's not your typical pops concert. It's very difficult music. But I guess The Phantom Menace, because that music, even though all of it is not still John Williams, it's very powerful, menacing, and it builds until you cannot stand it anymore. And of course, the love theme from the Star Wars, the Across the Stars. That is a beautiful theme. So yeah, we're Those are the two that
Yeah.
are my favorite.
And what do you think the orchestra is looking forward to playing the most?
The Cantina Bar scene from Star Wars, of course. They love that.
That's great. So I have to compliment you guys for doing a masterful job of managing the craziness of last year. With the pandemic and not being able to have in-person concerts, you came up with some of the most innovative stuff that I've seen done in the arts. So bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
What lessons did you take away from last year?
Well, we learned that, well, musicians and music, well, they're very resilient. We survived, barely, but we survived. And so we learned that you cannot live without music. It's gone, and it's like part of your life is completely gone. So we see that audiences want to come back to the stage, to the auditorium. Musicians want to go back to the stage and just listen to great music. So it's, among other things, those are the things that we've learned, and so we're going to build on that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love it that this season is the season of hope. I think that's the perfect thing to call this season.
It is.
Yeah, very fitting. But with that, what else are we going to be able to look forward to this season?
Well, every concert is very exciting. After the Star Wars, in November we're going to have orchestral fireworks with the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky and the fireworks music by Handel and a few other surprises, a pianist and a soprano. In December we do the Messiah, and then in January my niece Fela, she's going to pay a tribute to Whitney Houston among other singers. That's going to be a lot of fun. February is music from the world. We're going to have an 18-year-old accordion virtuoso from Spain. And then we finish our season with three-time Grammy Award winner John Cicada. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely a lot of fun. That's magnificent.
Yeah.
So folks, what you want to do is make sure you start your kickoff of the art season with the Irving Symphony, Star Wars Through the Years. That's Saturday, October 23rd at 7:30 p.m. in Carpenter Hall. You can get your tickets at 972-252-ARTS. And more information about the Irving Symphony Orchestra at irvingsymphony.org. Thanks so much, Hector.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We first met Joe Teming at her very first gallery show at Northlake College. Since then, she's had nothing short of an amazing career, and it keeps getting better. Here's an update with the talented artist.
In February of 2020, Stephen Benazou invited Joe Teming to show her work in the Northlake College Gallery.
I was always looking for artists to exhibit in the gallery. And I happened to walk into Joe's studio, and I walked in the door and just stopped and just went, oh my God, look at this work.
A number of art collectors and gallery owners have had a similar reaction in the year and a half that has passed since Joe's first solo show.
That Northlake exhibit was the start of many, many more things to happen. Even though the whole world kind of slowed down, my world in some ways kind of sped up.
Despite the pandemic, the past 18 months have been an amazing ride.
That Northlake exhibit sold a number of pieces, and then that led to getting a solo exhibit at a gallery down in the Design District on Dragon Street.
That show at Scott Dawson's Sync Gallery is called Duality and showcases both her signature monochromatic palette and her exploration of color during the pandemic.
Her work is very beautiful. It's executed exquisitely. Whatever she's working on, there seems to be a certain frequency that she's working at.
In addition to the second solo show, the prestigious Hall Arts Residences is showcasing her work in one of its model homes.
My agent made a connection with the Hall's art consultant, Patricia Meadows, and so she came and viewed my art, loved it, and then asked us to put art here in this model unit. So that's kind of what all started from Northlake.
Joe has the distinction of being the only artist whose work is showing exclusively in one of the units. But one of the most unanticipated career highlights might be the inclusion of one of her compositions in the special exhibit Remember 911 at the Museum of Biblical Arts.
The way the piece is structured, it looks like a kind of monolith or like one of the Twin Towers. That attracted me immediately. And then the puzzle pieces themselves, they're all kinds of different colors. And isn't that what 9/11 is all about? It's this gigantic puzzle that we're all trying to figure out. So I think she offers us some real unique insights in that sense by this piece.
Jo has her own insights about her thrilling career trajectory.
No artist is successful on their own. It's not just our talent. And it's our work ethic, but it's also getting amazing people around you that believe in your art as much as you do, that advocate for your art. And so a testament to what I've been able to accomplish in a pandemic year, relatively quickly, a year and a half after my very, very first show, now having a piece accepted in a museum, now having booked museum shows, that type of thing. It's like winning the lottery for an artist. And so I'm very grateful, extremely grateful.
A lot of that gratitude goes to her agent.
In my mind, she's not emerging anymore. She's already a museum, extraordinary artist. And it takes years. It takes so much work to get to where she's come in a short amount of time.
Keep watching, because Joe Teming's star is continuing to rise. This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
Follow Jo on Instagram at Joe Teming or visit her online at joeteming.com.
Women's health is on the agenda at a special virtual panel that's coming up October 21st.
Amanda Brummett is here with the details. Welcome.
Thank you. We are so excited that October 21st, we have 5 women physicians that are going to be there for a women's health panel to answer questions. And 3 of these amazing physicians are from right here in Irving. We've got Amy Bayless. She's with Baylor Scott & White Medical Center there in Irving. We have Darshna Chandrasekhara with Medical City, Las Colinas, and Gateway OBGYN. And then we have Dr. Tiffany Jones with Conceive Fertility Center right there in Las Colinas.
So all of these are issues, obviously, that are very important to women, and to be talking about women's health at a time when we've had this crazy pandemic. We don't know how it's affecting people. What kinds of questions do you imagine that you're going to get from the folks that attend your panel?
Yeah, so each year we get really a variety of questions. We get some things that are very specific. Definitely with some of the panelists we have this year, I expect questions about breast cancer and prevention. I definitely expect some things about fertility and general women's health with having an OBGYN and a reproductive endocrinologist. And one of the things that the panelists always aim to talk about is really that work-life balance for women. When do we ever press pause and just take care of ourselves? And we intentionally pick speakers that have a busy practice, but also do a really good job of taking care of themselves. So a lot of times they'll spend a lot of the time talking about that more so than just the medical aspects.
Well, that whole mind-body thing is important, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you touched on the 3 from Irving. Can you tell us about the other 2 speakers?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tina Ali Mohammed is a psychiatrist that works in Dallas, but does have an Irving connection as well. Her husband is Vipin Kuryachan, an ophthalmologist there in Las Colinas. And then our last panelist is Dr. Lisa Shoemate. She's a pediatrician at MD Pediatrics in Coppell.
It sounds like you've got some wonderful experts, and you certainly do have a topic that women are interested in. So tell us, how can we get a seat at the table?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, it's really easy to get a seat this year because it is going to be virtual. Mm-hmm. So it'll all be done via Zoom, and people can go to coppellchamber.org/events to get a ticket to the event.
Fantastic.
Great.
Amanda, thank you so much. Folks, you've got an opportunity to hear from other women who know this business of health and can answer your questions, and also talk about health in a way that is holistic, that handles that whole mind-body connection. Go to coppellchamber.org and look for a link for the Women's Health Panel. And here are a couple of other excellent ways to spend your time happening about town. The Las Colinas Symphony opens their 2021-22 season with pianist Lindsay Garrettson in concert Saturday, October 16th at 7:30 p.m. in Carpenter Hall.
And Ballet 5/8 presents Reckless, a powerful story ballet on human trafficking on Sunday, October 24th at 3 p.m. in Carpenter Hall. You can get tickets for both shows by calling 972-252-ARTS. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time for a story on the newest sweet shop in town, the Irving Bakery.
We'll also premiere several new features on the all-new About Town: page turners, sound bites, and what's cooking Irving. Tune into the next edition of the show for a look.
We'll leave you tonight with a look at blues artist Sean Pittman in performance at Starlight Blues 222. For About Town, I'm Kathy Whiteman.
And I'm Susan Stevens. Have a great evening.